So I'm delighted to be here today with our award-winning Chief Financial Officer, Theresa Boston-Ellis. We've had a National Finance Award for 23 years in a row, haven't we?
Yes, it's been a great team effort.
Yeah,
we take all the credit for that.
We have a great leader and you do have a great team.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about finance and budgeting that you know well. We always have a lot of questions from the community and even employees on a number of things related to how we finance our schools. And of course, the FEFP formula is pretty complicated, right? How we finance the money, how it comes from the state and how it's distributed. But let's focus on a couple of key items.
Okay.
So just recently I was somewhere and the word lottery came up, right? When you think about state lottery dollars. Can you share what that looks like now in funding public education in Florida?
Lottery was used to supplement the education system for the K-12, but a few years ago, more than a few years ago, there was a change in where the funds were allocated. And it does help our students, but it goes towards the bright futures and the scholarships that are awarded to our students in the post-secondary area. Right. So we don't receive all the lottery money that we used to receive. Right. We do get lottery dollars for school recognition, which is a program that is awarded to schools that have maintained their grade of an A, or if their grade has increased.
Absolutely. And so all the dollars now from the lottery are then specific, and so they're not unrestricted as we term, right? So that's helpful. That's kind of a myth number one. Another question that comes up, especially we've had a lot of conversations with capital and the need to build new schools due to all the growth in our community, and also our maintenance. So, you know, we just had our operational referendum renewed in recent time last year. And some folks would say, well, why can't you use that to build our schools? And so do you want to share some perspective on that?
We are so glad that it was renewed because it supports our classrooms. Prior to the last recession, we were looking at elementary schools that had to share PE teacher or music teacher, but because of the support of our community, we were able to restore that to the pre-recession numbers. So it supports our paras, it supports class size, it also supports PE,
safety,
and the arts, and of course safety.
Career and technical education programs, known as vocational programs, which is needed.
These are programs that are very much needed, and it can only be used for operational costs.
There you go.
And not capital.
And those items that were approved by the voters on the ballot language, very specific to that. So I think sometimes that gets missed when people are trying to follow. So let's talk about capital for a few minutes, right? We've shared publicly quite a bit about this in the last couple years. We're going for the certificate of participation, so I'll let you share about that in a minute. We just had the impact fees approved by our county commissioners, thank you very much, and that will move forward at the 40% rate, and those modified cells, right, for those different categories. And then we are looking forward to having on the ballot in November sales tax for a half penny. What would you like to share regarding the certificate of participation, which we're undergoing that process right now, and other ways that we can support capital?
I'd like to think that our board is showing good faith effort towards our community and saying we will borrow these funds and we will build certain number of schools, expand existing schools, and this becomes a debt for us. And this debt will be structured over a 20-year period. And I believe that this is the contribution of the district because we will be using our capital dollars to make that debt payment.
Right.
Also, we're excited about renewing the sales tax because, as everyone knows, it's projected over $1 billion in needs. And that even borrowing those dollars, that's just a small amount of what is needed for not only new construction, but also for maintaining the buildings that we have.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you. Let's talk a moment about now dollars coming to our district. We know that the ESSER dollars, the federal dollars for COVID relief, are concluding this year. So we've planned accordingly for that. We've made some adjustments quite a few adjustments at the central office, and we're protecting and supporting those schools with this transition. But what about the dollars that are coming to us? Because some people don't understand that dollars that flow through us sometimes flow right through us. And so our budget looks higher often than it actually is. And so can you share the specific ways that those dollars come, and they come through us as a pass-through to other places?
So we have the funds for our charter schools. We actually receive those dollars, and then we turn around and remit payment to the charter schools. Another one, which is really not a flow through, but it's called Family Empowerment Scholarships. And those dollars are included in our revenue, but we never see them. They go directly to the student family that they are attributed to. So because we include those dollars in our revenue, it appears that it's much higher than what it really is.
Okay. What's the impact financially right now? What's that difference of dollars that might look like they're in our budget, but that are really being used for those purposes? Could you?
Our last projected was about $30 million.
Okay, $30 million.
And those funds are reflected in our revenue, but we do not receive them.
Yes. Okay. I think that's helpful to underscore. And I'm going to go back for a moment. I forgot to mention something that comes to mind is this committee. We have the what we know as ICROC, which is the Independent Citizens Oversight Committee, right?
Correct.
That looks at how we're spending the money from that operational referendum. And so can you tell everyone what that looks like? Because they could actually go to our website and see the presentation that we do quarterly.
Absolutely. And what we do is provide a summary of what we've done the past quarter in terms of the expenditures and then also the programs. And I think that's probably unique to our school district because it integrates not only the funding that we receive, and that is spent, but also it shows them exactly what we're doing with those dollars.
Right.
And that committee is great. They ask a lot of questions, and sometimes we have to go back and research and bring them the answers. But we do appreciate their input because we're transparent. There's nothing that is beyond.
Absolutely.
We can provide all the information that they need. But I think that is important. So it sort of gives us a seal of approval of that we are spending those dollars as
intended and as promised to the taxpayers.
To the taxpayers.
Appreciate that. And for everyone to be aware, that is a board appointed oversight committee. It is not a committee that reports to Superintendent in Operations. They are volunteers who are appointed by the board members. So we're reporting to that group of volunteers where we are so that truly it's outside of the scope of the operations and the decision making at the district. So is there anything I didn't ask or touch on that you would like to share?
Just that we are going forward, as you spoke of, looking at the staff that was approved and that we're working under the federal dollars, the ESSER dollars, and we are merging the programs that were highly successful in our regular budget and supporting the schools. And we're excited to get through this next budget cycle. We have been told, and we have seen preliminary information that we'll be receiving probably about $217 per student more for next year.
Okay, that's a great point too, and what that looks like from the legislature this year, $217 more per student.
But that also includes the Family Empowerment Scholarship students.
Okay.
Yeah. So in reality, net of the Family Empowerment Scholarship, the district will receive about $74 per student from state and local revenue.
Right. And so more money coming in, but also, I know you talk about this a lot, costs going up as well.
Yes.
So
we are seeing that just like everyone else in our community, costs are going up. Our purchasing have pretty much leveled out. Expenditures, we were at one time doing only 6-month contracts with bidders, and now we're up to 9 months. So that signals things are getting better, but things are more expensive, whether it's utilities or purchasing paper.
Sure, yes.
And those are the kinds of things that.
Basic supplies are going up, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for your leadership, all you do, and for your entire team. I know you have a fantastic team,
they
and
are
I know you're
awesome.
proud of them, but I know they're proud of you also. So thanks for all you do for
And
us.
thank you for your support, Dr. Gullett.
Absolutely.